We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insight, new styles, and new topics every day.
We're a news generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Thursday, January 23rd here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Joining us today is Cheska Dainha.
Happy Thursday, everyone!
Happy Thursday.
Woohoo!
And Julian Kim.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. We're going to begin with our keyword news for this Thursday. Our keyword is 설날, the Korean Lunar New Year holiday. A recent survey conducted by a domestic research platform shows that nearly half of Korean adults have no special plans for the holiday and will stay home. According to the survey of 2,000 people, 49.7% answered they plan to stay home, followed by 31.6% who plan to visit their hometown or their parents. Meanwhile, 9.2% said they will travel within the country. So the Seollal holiday is just around the corner next week. I want to ask our panelists plan for this upcoming Seollal holiday.
Yeah, so this will actually be my first time celebrating Seollal here in Korea. So I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah.
So my family will be coming over to my place. We're going to be doing the traditional things that we do for the Seollal, eat some food. But other than that, yeah, I'm just excited to spend some time with family, spend some time alone in Seoul, and to catch up on some work and some books that I wanted to read.
So family time, you time, and then reading books.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited.
You seem to be excited.
Yeah. Six long days.
Yeah, 6 long days. It is indeed a very long holiday, this Seollal holiday. Then what about you, Cheska? Please share your plans.
Yeah, I'm just as excited, but I'm excited to spend the 6 days of holidays all by myself. So I, unfortunately or fortunately, fall into the category of those who would be spending most of the time alone. My family is in the States and my grandparents have recently relocated, so I will mostly be alone. But I also love the Seoul city when it's super quiet and empty during
Not a
Seollal.
lot of cars, not a lot of people.
And I always go bike riding, and I love that the road is completely empty. And even for that momentary time, I feel like I own the city, which is a great
Which is a rare experience, especially for a crowded city like Seoul.
Exactly. So I try to embrace it and enjoy it as much as I can.
Well, hope you guys both enjoy the long 6-day Seollal holiday, which is just coming up next week. And that was our keyword news for this Thursday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Today we're going to focus on the latest lifestyle trends among our generation. For more, take a look at the screen.
If you're a senior student in Korea, the time to say goodbye to your classmates and teachers is fast approaching. With graduation season just around the corner, today we're exploring how graduation ceremonies in Korea are evolving.
Right, so if you graduated years ago, you might be wondering, is it already graduation season here in Korea? Because it feels a bit early when I graduated. So starting off, Cheska, when are most schools in Korea holding their graduation ceremonies, the big day these days?
Yeah, so here in South Korea, the new year actually starts in March, which I think is quite lovely and symbolic because it's the springtime.
Best season, one of the best seasons of the year.
Exactly. So new blossom, new year. So in that sense, classes end around December and very short spring break, and graduation normally falls, I would say, around February. And I remember this quite distinctively because I was always sad that I didn't get to celebrate my birthday because it fell in February.
Same here. I'm a February birthday.
Oh, you're a February girl. Okay, so it was always quite sad because everybody's saying goodbye, but it's like, I want you to come to my birthday. But these days, apparently, they're expediting the graduation date to January.
Right, this month.
Exactly, to give more time to students to prepare going up to the next grade level. And I think that is quite fitting because I would like to be done with graduation, sort of have a peace of mind, maybe go on a spring break with the family and friends, and then move on to the next year.
Right, so graduation season is earlier here in Korea when compared to the past. We're seeing ceremonies taking place in January this month right now. Now, as far as I understand, Cheska's and my student days are over. We're done with school. But Julian, but you're about to graduate from, you're still a student at Yonsei University's Korean Language Institute. So could you tell us when your graduation ceremony will take place?
Yeah, so with this specific program is different from what you might expect from other academic institutions. So every semester, which is about 3 months, there is a small graduation ceremony for those who complete the program. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the ceremony goes, but I do believe that students get to wear hanboks and get to take pictures with their certificates. So it's kind of like a good connection to Korean culture and just signify that you complete the program.
Right.
But as for me, I should graduate no later than I would say August, and I'm very, very excited for it. Even though I would say I'm not like super, like I don't struggle a lot with my daily life in Korea. I never really got the proper education to speak like the Korean language, so I do want to focus on my reading and writing skills. So I'm very excited to apply that to my professional and my personal life here in Korea.
So early congratulations to
Yes.
your graduation. And if you attend your ceremony, please share a photo with our viewers on Newsstand when you come back to the show. Now, we first talked about the timing that graduation ceremonies usually take place in Korea these days, but this is not the only thing has changed. These ceremonies have seen quite a transformation in recent years. So could you tell us a bit more about how these ceremonies have evolved when compared to the past?
So I actually learned this while preparing for today's topic, and I think the biggest change is probably the most important, is that it's becoming more inclusive and becoming an actual celebration event for everyone. Now, in the past, apparently, only the class prefect or valedictorian would be the one to go in the podium to receive their graduation plaque on behalf of the hundreds of other graduate students. Now, it may have been very time efficient, but I think we all agree here, I truly believe everyone deserves not only the
It's everyone's day.
I know, not only the spotlight, but also that moment to be celebrated and, clapped and cheered by their teachers, friends, and parents. And, when you walk that podium, I think it's very visceral and also emotional. Sometimes I think the years that you've spent flash before your eyes, you feel a sense of pride and responsibility. So I think it is an important coming of age ceremony in addition to graduating from an academic year.
And I definitely experienced that change that Cheska mentioned, because back when I graduated from high school, which was 8 years ago, it's quite a long time ago, but I remember that all of the students who graduated with me, they were up on stage, they received their diplomas from the principal, and then they shook hands with their homeroom teachers. So it's great to see that this ceremony is becoming a festival for all people. Then Julian, I also want to ask you, are you noticing this change in trend as well?
Yeah, so definitely. There's almost a more festival-like atmosphere of graduation ceremonies in Korea recently. Students that graduated hold performances where they rap and they sing and even play videos that they filmed and directed themselves. And maybe it's because Gen Alpha is more of the digital communication generation, but these video messages have been gaining popularity when it comes to these graduation ceremonies.
I mean, they do seem interesting, these student performances, because back when I graduated from high school, once again, I think it was more like a very solemn and quiet mood with that like classic song playing and everybody just going up stage,
Like
and going
singing the
down.
national anthem.
Right, like a choir song and then the school song and the national anthem. So it's becoming more party-like when compared to the past. And it's not just a ceremony, but I heard that there is also a shift in the type of gifts that people give to those who graduate. So could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's not as exciting as the festival, but and it might be a sad news for the flower market, but apparently flower bouquet, which was one of the nominal gifts during graduation. You will see even vendors outside the school ground during these times. But with the prices ranking up, students are resorting to other more, cost-efficient measures. And I researched a bit, and apparently they buy like scented dry flowers or teddy bears that can last a little bit longer. And I don't know if this is possible, but they even do like second-hand purchasing of used flowers. But I think the more appropriate way to gift during graduation, which I've seen that was quite cost-efficient, is in America, and Julian talked about this, they would make plaques and designed cards that say hooray or congratulations, kind of like a cheerleader card. And I think those are sort of the more cost-efficient way to celebrate for graduation.
And they're permanent gifts, because flowers, they're not permanent.
Exactly, they wither.
Right. So we've talked about the change in the graduation day, the ceremony vibe, and also the gifts. Now, despite all these changes, some traditions still remain unchanged here in the country. So tell us about those timeless customs, Julian.
Yeah, so there are many timeless customs when it comes to celebrating graduation. The traditional cap and gown is one of them, flower bouquets. At the end of the ceremony, there will always be the tradition of taking photos with fellow classmates, teachers, and families. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, many students were separated separated and went to class virtually. But having this timeless custom has proven to be really, really resilient, as many students who now can have in-person graduation ceremonies are continuing to uphold this tradition.
Right, because photos are the ones that last, once again. If you take your photos with your teachers, your friends, and also your families.
Yep, it's better than a Zoom screenshot.
Definitely. So far we focused on the graduation ceremony here in Korea, but I understand that both of you studied abroad. So how are your graduation ceremonies? And please compare them to what we've talked about until now.
Yep. So first off, time. So in America, new academic year always starts in September, as Julian knows. So May is kind of the typical graduation month.
I see.
And before the long summer break, and it's quite exciting because you have this graduation and then you go on this long
Summer break.
Exactly, with your friends and family to these beautiful beaches and whatnot. Also, when you graduate, your graduation date is year is very important. So you'll be class of graduation year.
Right.
Because a lot of the time students either take time off, work abroad, or even switch schools. So even if you enrolled together, people might have different graduation years. So, and lastly and most importantly, graduation in the States, both in high school and in college, kind of made me feel this sense of pride, responsibility, and extreme accomplishment. And for college, they always invite really important people,
Right.
like the CEOs or even celebrities or sometimes even presidential candidates, to give these speeches, which really add the weight to
Right.
it. Yeah. And you feel like, wow, I'm this important person that is being celebrated.
And I can become someone like that in the future.
Exactly. And they always give the best speeches. And also, it becomes very festive. So we would have like prom parties or graduation parties where people would dress up really fancy and then go on like an actual date. So that also makes you feel like coming of age and adult as well. Yeah.
Right. So the same coming of age vibe, but different events, as I would say, in these graduation ceremonies.
Yes.
Then Julian, please tell us about your experience now.
Yeah, from what I can remember, my elementary, middle, and high school graduation has been pretty straightforward and traditional. We had a typical cap and gown, someone in our class would sing the national anthem, our names would be called one by one, and we would go pick up our diploma, and afterwards we would cheer and throw our caps up in the air. My high school graduation ceremony was actually quite memorable because it was the last traditional graduation ceremony experience. So I graduated university back in 2021, and so due to the COVID pandemic, I didn't have the traditional graduation ceremony that I was looking for back when I was a college student. But many of my peers who went to other schools didn't even have a ceremony. They had like a Zoom call and they had a PowerPoint with their pictures, name, major, and they just go one-on-one through through Zoom on a PowerPoint. But fortunately, my school did have a graduation ceremony, albeit not traditional at all. It was more like a social distance graduation ceremony. So they would just have students line up 1 meter apart from each other, and they just had a camera, and they would do a live broadcast. So we would just wave to the camera and just walk past it as they call their name.
Oh my God.
And we just switched the tassels. So it was, I guess we kind of got like a light version of a graduation ceremony, but I did love not having my parents be there when I graduated from university, but I'm grateful at least I got to wear my cap and gown, and I at least had to have my brother with me too.
And this time when you graduate from your Korean Language Institute, you'll have all your family there, right?
We'll see about that. Most likely, yes.
Okay, so please keep us posted.
Yes.
And we also reached out to our viewers to learn about unique graduation traditions in other parts of the world. And here's what three of them shared with us. Our first comment for this Thursday is Benny T97. I graduated 7 years ago, and my family and I went to a restaurant to eat, and that's what Philippine people commonly do on graduation day. Everyone wants to celebrate the fact that we finished working hard as students. Studio visionary Anna in Arizona. Most schools will hold their ceremonies at the football stadium. I will be graduating in December 2025, and my family plans on attending the ceremony. Afterward, we will probably go to a restaurant to eat. Congratulations to you, Anna. And then Joseph I N8I, on my graduation day, I took photos with my family and friends and then went to a restaurant for some special food. All right, we've read our viewers' comments, and now for more, we're going to invite a young person from Indonesia to share her experience about graduation ceremonies. We'll be back after a short break.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
All right, so today we're pleased to be joined by Grazia Citra Nariswari, a Gen Z from Indonesia. Welcome, Grazia, to the show.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly well. Thank you so
Okay.
much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Grazia, so could you first walk us through what your most recent graduation ceremony was like, and was there a moment that stood out to you the most?
Actually, for like my most recent graduation is in Korea. I graduated from my master's degree in Yonsei University also. It's quite different than my undergraduate degree where we all go to the podium and we receive our diploma and then our parents can see our achievements. But from like a master's degree graduation here is more time efficient, where it's only the valedictorians who's in the podium. They will give their speech, and then all of us will also go to the podium. But because the professor and the dean and then the program director will congratulate us one by one.
Oh, wow. Well, I know it's belated, but congratulations. Now, what did you enjoy
Thank you,
most?
thank you.
Oh, what did you enjoy most about your graduation ceremony? And is there anything you think could have been improved?
I think, let's say from my most recent graduation, like for the master degree graduation here, what I enjoy the most is actually the time efficiency because our family are flying from different part of the world. And actually it was Monday, so it's really hard for us to gather all of the family here. But so the time efficiency and how we make the ceremony tight but also like meaningful is really I really appreciate it because every one of us and then the family can gather around. And for like my graduation back home, I really enjoy like and appreciate how the school put like every achievement that we achieved during our study period when they call our name to the podium. And I think for anything that we can improve, no, I don't think so. I really enjoyed my undergraduate and master degree graduation both the same.
That's great.
So going off of that, what do you think is the significant of graduation ceremonies and how important do you think they are for students?
I think it's really important, not for only for the students, but also for like the family, because I saw like how our parents gather here and then their proud face smiling, seeing how their children achieve yet another milestones. So it's a really appreciation moment, not only for the students because we already achieve a certain checkpoint for our professional and personal life, but also to celebrate like the friendship that grows along the time that we studied together. And I think it's a meaningful moment where we appreciate and celebrate our process, our growth throughout our studying period in our school, but also a checkpoint where we realize that it's a new beginning for a new journey after the graduation.
It definitely opens a new chapter of your life. All right, Grazia, thank you
Yes.
so much for your time today and
Thank you
joining
so
us this morning.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Right, so ending off, we've all experienced the excitement of graduation. So I would like to ask you the same question. What kind of meaning do you think these graduation ceremonies have for those graduating?
You know, I was looking at the VCR and I kind of got emotional.
Really?
Yeah. But I think there's a great quote that I use, which is, your education is a dress rehearsal for a life that is yours to lead. And back when I was sitting at the graduation seat and people giving these speeches about, oh, your new chapter of life is starting, I really didn't know what they were talking about. But once I actually started to live, I realized that graduation ceremony really wasn't the end. It was a celebration to something that was about to start. They were so vast and so unexpected that I didn't know. So for those who are graduating, I want to congratulate them, but also tell them, congratulations for starting something that will happen and unfold in ways that you can never possibly imagine.
So it's not just the end of your school life, it's a start of an even bigger world. Step into
So
the
much bigger,
world.
yeah.
Right. And what do you think, Julian?
Yeah, so graduating is such an exciting time, and I strongly believe it's important to take the time to celebrate your accomplishments. And going back to school now, I'm definitely getting reminded just how challenging it can be to be a student. So this tradition is a very, very great way to not only just close an important chapter, but it's a great new beginning to your next adventure. And it's such an important celebration, not just for yourself, but also for your teachers, people that support your academic career, like your family too. And for my case, missing out on a complete graduation ceremony back in college made me realize just how significant these ceremonies are and how important it is to celebrate this.
They are indeed symbolic, impact with meaning. And for all of us who are graduating, a big congratulations from our News Gen team. And that's all from us today, but News Gen will be back tomorrow, Friday at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Cheska and Han.
Pleasure's always mine. Thank you.
Thank you, and Julian Kim.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are
News Generation.